Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon? Would you like to glide in my beautiful balloon? We can float among the Montana skies together, you and I, for we can fly! Up, up, and away in my beautiful, beautiful balloon. The world's a nicer place in my beautiful balloon. America's been disgraced by my beautiful balloon. We can sing a song and sail along the silver sky, for we can fly. Up, up, and away in my beautiful, beautiful balloon. Suspended under a communist canopy, we'll search the clouds for a star to hide in. If by some chance you find yourself loving she, we'll find a cloud to hide in. We'll get stoned and screwed just like Hunter Biden. Love is waiting there in my beautiful balloon. So don't you fucking stare at my beautiful balloon. In the name of socialist labor, we will chase your proletarian dreams across the sky, for we can fly. Up, up, and away in my beautiful, beautiful balloon. Balloon. Balloon.
I would like to have seen Montana.
From high atop the battlements of Castle Curmudgeon, where it seems to me like Eric Swalwell's the guy who should really be on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America and all ships at sea. Welcome to the program. Happy Friday. I am your eponymous host and humble servant. Hope you enjoyed that opening number, and lost in all of yesterday's hullabaloo about Chinese spy balloons and the weak, feckless American presidents who can't muster the courage to shoot them down, was the fact that, quite unexpectedly, it wound up being kind of a red-letter day in the annals of dumb leftists shaking their fists at the sky and shrieking unintelligible nonsense sounds. I mean, things even reached such a fever pitch that the young, gentle lady from the New York 14th District, the Honorable Senorita Ocasio-Cortez, never one who is prone to public displays of shocking idiocy or emotional incontinence or embarrassing feats of cultural appropriation, decided it would be a good time to perform the worst impression of a Black Baptist preacher that has ever been witnessed on the House floor. But then, Alex from the block does have a regrettable tendency, and one that we have witnessed with a lot of other white Democrats, frankly, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, to name just a few, and that's that when they find themselves in the presence of a room full of mostly black people, they unconsciously become some sort of female Al Jolson, like a white person doing an incredibly bad impression of what a white racist thinks black people act like. And you know what? I think I shouldn't have dragged Al Jolson's good name into this. Al Jolson, he toiled in an artistic vineyard that was much less embarrassing and insulting than whatever it was that Sandy Cortez was attempting to do yesterday. She starts waving her hand in the air like she just don't care, swaying back and forth. I want y'all to make a joyful noise out there in the congregation for the Lord Jesus. Brothers and sisters. Can I get an amen up in this motherfucker? For Christ's sake, if you put her in a purple robe and with a gospel choir behind her, she would have been right in her element, I think. And there's this one black woman congressman who's sitting a few rows back, and it looks like she's not quite picking up what the Reverend Alex from Westchester AME is putting down, like she's finding this all just a little bit insulting, but she knows she can never say anything because AOC is the popular girl at school whom you must never criticize unless you want her friends to beat you up behind the gym one day. And she was just one in the day's cavalcade of caterwauling. It went on for quite some time. Every squad member got into the act, as I'm sure you are deeply shocked to hear, because when have those young ladies ever been the type to not run for the nearest TV camera to moan about some stupid shit? So in the final analysis, while I will not say the sum total of yesterday's histrionics can hold a candle to what we witnessed on that immortal morning of Wednesday, 9 November 2016, I do think it can hold a match. Frankly, even perhaps a wooden match, one of the good ones that you can strike anywhere. And what calamitous event was it that transpired to cause such an outpouring of venal vapidity? What cruel and shocking twist of fate has transformed these normally calm, sober, mild-mannered ladies into screaming hyena she-wolves, rending their garments and crying veritable rivers of delicious leftist tears? Well, Ilhan Omar got thrown off the Foreign Affairs Committee. I know, it's a lot to take in, but we're going to get through this together. You have my word. And it's okay to feel scared and confused like nothing's ever going to make sense again when a second-term backbench House member with a history of virulent anti-Semitism marrying her brother and having hot, freaky sex with the husbands of her female staffers gets thrown off of a committee where potentially she might have gotten a total of, say, 17 minutes of FaceTime in the next 2 years. So, what a tragedy. It's just a hell of a lot to take in, is all I'm saying. Do I think she deserved to be thrown off the committee? I take no view on that question. It's not the business of voters who serves on any House committee, just like it's not their business who the speaker is. Those are internal matters and decisions that the members make for and amongst themselves. Would I have thrown her off if it was me? Nope. Absolutely categorically not. The members of the committees should be whomever they are supposed to be, and a member having regrettable views on a certain subject, I don't think that should be a determining factor. In the last Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who seems like a perfectly nice, bright, reasonable lady when I have heard her speak, she lost all of her committee assignments because I'm not even sure what it was she did. Like, she shared a Facebook post about Jewish space lasers or something 6 or 7 years ago, and the House Democrats, with one united voice, declared that this was an offense so severe, so unconscionable, that the people in her district should be denied any and all representation on any House committee because of it. And that right there is an unconscionable thing in the judgment of this commentator. The people of each district decide who their representative is going to be, and that person needs to be seated on whatever committees their position and tenure befits. Whether it's Ilhan Omar, Marjorie Taylor Greene, George Santos, Steve King, any damn other member, I don't care. Throwing people off committees means taking away representation from their constituents, and that should not be done lightly. It shouldn't be done just because they said some icky thing one time or retweeted some dumb tweet. Moreover, Ilhan Omar has the exact set of views on Jews and Judaism that I would expect a person of her background and education to have. So there's a limit to how much I am willing to clutch my pearls over an all about the Benjamins crack. I just can't get very upset about that. But wait a minute, say the Democrats and the fake news media, but I repeat myself. This cruel persecution of this innocent, blameless woman, it's got nothing to do with her well-established track record of open Jew hatred. Nay, this is an odious, indefensible assault upon women of color and Muslims and Muslim women of color. And in analyzing this claim, I think it's only fitting that we should first check the scoreboard, which is often a good place to turn when one wishes to discern reality from delusion. And according to what the scoreboard says, 3 Democrats in the current Congress have been voted off of committees. One of them, of course, was Ilhan Omar, being thrown off Foreign Affairs. The other 2 were both thrown off the Intel Committee. Their names, Eric Swalwell and Adam Schiff, and I trust there will be no objections from anyone in the gallery if I should presume to confidently assert that neither of those guys are Muslim women of color. Unless there's been an overnight religious conversion and gender transition. And nobody bothered telling me. And frankly, if I'm being honest, I've sort of been expecting that other shoe to drop with Swalwell. I don't think he likes the idea of his tombstone saying, that congressman who banged a Chinese spy and farted on television, so I wouldn't be surprised if we met Erica Swalwell one day in the not-too-distant future, because that way he'll get the benefit of everyone pretending he has always been Erica Swalwell, that there never was any male human being named Eric Swalwell, therefore Eric Swalwell never banged a Chinese spy or farted on television. It's the same thing they have done with the actress Ellen Page, and if you have a few minutes to spare and you need a good hearty chuckle, try to make sense of the Wikipedia articles for the movies featuring the artist formerly known as the actress Ellen Page. You want to see some tortured English syntax? All these articles lovingly rewritten by semi-literate trans activists to reflect the reality that the red-blooded male actor Elliot Page actually played all of these female roles in these films whose credits, for some strange, odd transphobic reason, still say Ellen Page. That retroactive transphobia really chaps my ass, man. But needless to say, yesterday's media Democrat pet theory that there is an all-out assault being waged to deny congressional women of color their rightful committee assignments, it kind of falls apart rather comically when the record reflects that 66% of the people they've gone after are white dudes. But on the matter of Schiff and Swalwell, I am willing to make exceptions for both of them to my previous argument. Throwing people off committees, yes, it absolutely should be a last resort, not done lightly, but both of those fools meet the standard, more than meet it. In my estimation, if it was a committee other than the Intel Committee, I think my view might be different. But you can't just have people on that committee getting privileged access to top secret materials who bang Chinese spies and serially lie to the American people for a period of years about their president being a Russian intelligence asset. Adam Schiff, when he was the sitting chairman of the Intel Committee, went on television dozens and dozens of times and asserted, and I quote, "I have seen convincing evidence of Trump-Russia collusion." That was an intentional, malicious, bald-faced lie, repeated over and over and over again, and by repeating that lie, Adam Schiff damn well got himself thrown off of that committee. Even a feckless douchebag like Kevin McCarthy cannot allow a man with Adam Schiff's behavioral track record to be seated as the minority ranking member on the Intelligence Committee. Frankly, if he did that, he should have the speaker's gavel taken away. And Eric Swalwell, okay, last word on Eric Swalwell for tonight. Eric, I'm just going to tell you this. If you're a goofy, unexceptional city councilman nobody's ever heard of who's just declared his candidacy for a seat in Congress, and all of a sudden there is this impossibly hot Chinese bombshell who starts hanging all over you like you're God's gift to masculinity, I'm just saying there's a fairly strong possibility she's not really that into you. Let's be honest with ourselves here, shall we? Every man knows in his heart of hearts when a woman is out of his league. Every man deep down knows that when a woman who is out of his league comes up and starts saying she rub you wrong time, there is a hell of a strong chance that she has an ulterior motive. And Eric, Fang Fang is so far out of your league she is not even playing the same sport. And I think we would do well to make a distinction here between people being thrown off of committees because their actions make them unsuitable to sit there, and people being thrown off committees just because they think stupid things. Schiff and Swalwell threw themselves off of the Intel Committee because their actions made them unsuited to sit there. Ilhan Omar got thrown off Foreign Affairs just because she thinks something dumb. And for whatever it's worth, I think there is a real and crucial difference there. And we couldn't finish out the week without the obligatory Admiral Hunter Biden, America's greatest naval hero report. Now, could we? Admiral Biden, who somehow is able to afford a whole cadre of very expensive lawyers in addition to his $20,000 a month rent payment for his lavish Malibu beach house, but goes to court and claims abject poverty when he is asked to provide support for Joe Biden's stripper grandbaby. He is on the warpath this week, ladies and gentlemen. He and his legal team are coming after anybody who has cruelly persecuted him over the contents of the laptop. Sorry, the alleged laptop. Admiral Hunter Biden, you see, he is the aggrieved party in this whole thing. Admiral Hunter Biden is the true victim. For when Admiral Biden staggered stinking drunk into John Paul Mac Isaac's computer repair shop on that fateful afternoon in 2019, little did he know He was walking directly into the teeth of a foul, evil, right-wing conspiracy perpetrated by the super-duper ultra-mega-maga Republicans. You see, John Paul Mac Isaac, he was the mastermind of this whole thing. This criminal, brilliant guy somehow compelled Hunter Biden, against his will, to stumble into his shop and abandon a computer containing an entire years-long paper trail confirming that selling access to Joe Biden has been the Biden family business since approximately 1826. Then he plotted to have Hunter sign a legally binding contract forfeiting ownership of the machine after 90 days. Then he plotted to call Hunter on the phone at least half a dozen times, begging and pleading with him to pay his bill and come get his stupid computer, only to be ignored. But that was just part of the ruse, you see. These sophisticated criminal types, they operate on a whole other level that you and I can scarcely conceive of, much less understand. But Hunter's legal team has carved out a rather bizarre bit of legal rationale here, actually, because while they are freely acknowledging that the data on the laptop is totally genuine, which is to say, Russian intelligence didn't deepfake 20,000 pictures of Hunter Biden's penis and Photoshop him doing rails of coke off his niece's ass cheek, which is what he does when he's not busy refusing to pay his female assistants unless they have video phone sex with him, which is what he does when he's not busy impregnating random strippers. But here's the legal curveball. Hunter's lawyers are refusing to concede that any laptop ever existed, which is a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. So this nefarious gang of right-wing conspirators hacked all of Hunter Biden's data somehow, and they made sure to grab all 20,000 dick pics, because these people are thorough. And they chose to place it all in the custody of this mild-mannered computer repairman who just happens to own the nearest computer repair shop to where Hunter Biden lives, of all the luck. But they refused to concede that Mr. Biden deposited a laptop computer at said repair shop and subsequently abandoned it. And, you know, call me old-fashioned, but this seems like a good time for the FBI to chime in and say, nope. The repair shop guy, he physically handed us a laptop computer. It is in our possession. These lawyers are full of shit. But the fact is that the FBI is remaining silent because you know why. Because Hunter Biden's lawyers and the FBI are playing for the same team. We don't even know the whereabouts of the actual laptop. The chain of custody stops cold when the two agents walk out of John Paul Mac Isaac's shop with the machine in hand after implicitly threatening harm on him. This is going on 2.5 years ago, and if Mac Isaac hadn't backed up the data, which he had every right to do after the machine became his legal property, do you think we ever would have known that laptop existed? Ponder that question over the weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Have a delightful, edifying Saturday and Sunday with those you love. I will see you on the other side. Do not comply. Get off my lawn.